I am a longtime iPhone user who's trying my first Android, the Galaxy S10. Here are my thoughts after 48 hours. Hello tech friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Craig. If you're into smart devices, Apple products, and other cool tech, you are in the right place. As a lifelong iPhone user, I have my Apple world dialed in. But I needed to give an Android phone a try. So far, using Android is like learning a new language because of how things are handled differently between the two operating systems. Like how Latin-based languages conjugate verbs, and the sentence structure is different than English. I think the learning curve applies to anyone switching operating systems. I don't think it's good or bad, it just is. Before I go into what I'm liking and not liking, I will say the bridge between an iPhone and Android lies in the apps. For all their differences, Twitter, YouTube, the Ring doorbell app, and many other apps work the same on both devices. Once I learn the nuances of the OS, most of what I'm doing is going to be app-based anyways. Here are my likes about Android and the Galaxy S10. Now this is only after 48 hours of use. I don't think that's enough time to pass any kind of real judgment. It is just an initial impression. First, I do like the form factor of the phone itself. It feels good to hold and use. I do love the all-screen design. This screen is awesome. I really enjoy watching YouTube and other videos on it. It is a very vivid screen and I feel like text just pops out on it. As for the camera cutout, it just fades away. I haven't used the cameras yet, so I really don't have any opinions on those. I'll get into those in a later video. Next, I do like the notifications. That is one thing that I've heard Android users say they miss on iPhones. With notifications, you can easily tell what kind of notifications you have. I can see here that I have an Instagram notification, an email, Twitter, and there's 6 others. These same notifications will show up at the top of the screen there. And if I swipe down, I can see what all of those notifications are. And if I don't do anything with the notification at that point, if I go back to the home screen, they're gonna stay up there. Can serve as a reminder that I do need to address this notification at a later point. Those notifications and also on the icons, the numbers there stay until you clear them out. I do like the flexibility of the screen layout. I could have my most popular apps on the home screen, swipe right to see more apps on the second page of the home screen. If I want to see all of my apps, I can swipe up and there are multiple pages that show all of my apps. I also have folder options that are the same as on an iPhone. It is nice to be able to arrange your icons any way you want. I'm using an R2-D2 wallpaper that incorporates the camera cutout as the eye. There are a bunch of wallpapers that have been made to use that cutout. I think it's kind of cool. I do like the quick drop down of the settings bar. I can swipe down. There's kind of the popular settings I might use. If I swipe down a second time, there's a lot more settings there and I could swipe through. And if I need to get into further settings, I could hit the little gear icon. But almost everything that you're going to need can be reached just by swiping down. The next thing I think is super cool is being able to play a video. And then if I need to go to another app, I could go to the home screen and right there, that video will stay playing. I can move it over to another spot where it's out of the way, maximize it to get it back up, go to the home screen again, and it'll just drop down to where I may want it. It's kind of cool. I can receive a text, jump out of a video that's playing and respond to that text. Meanwhile, that video will keep on going and then just go right back to it. So kind of a cool feature. I wish Apple would steal this for the iPhone. Next, I'll talk about a couple of my dislikes and more about what I'm missing from my iPhone. The first dislike is the under-screen fingerprint sensor. It is too picky and inconsistent in my opinion. Maybe it'll get better with time, but right now I'm not enjoying it much. I'll try to go unlock and sometimes it'll take multiple times or I'll swap to the other finger. And I programmed each thumb twice so it has 2 fingerprints to reference. So I've gone to turning on face unlock, Face unlock has been known for being able to be tricked by someone who may look like me, or if a picture of me is put up in front of the phone, it may unlock it. I don't see this happening, so I'll take my chances and use this instead of the fingerprint sensor. Next would be the limited options for allowing two-way communication with iCloud for my calendars, contacts, and emails. I can get my email by syncing through various mail apps, but my calendar will not sync. I did see some third-party apps that would sync my iCloud information, but I don't want some smaller app developer being the conduit between my iCloud account and Android. I also don't want to move everything over to Gmail and Google Drive. My wife and I have been very happy with how iCloud calendars work natively across all of our devices. Personally, I don't want to use Google Calendars and share my information there. I prefer not to sync all of my information through Google. The game changer I discovered yesterday for syncing is Microsoft Outlook. Apple has allowed true two-way communication between iCloud and Outlook. I can make changes to my calendar and contacts in Outlook and it will reflect on my Apple devices. I can also use my alias email addresses in Outlook, something that's not possible through the Gmail app and other apps. I have my original personal iCloud email address, but I have set up a business email address as an alias. On Apple devices, the alias can receive email and my responses show the alias email address. Before discovering Outlet, I was not able to use my business alias or sync my calendars. At that point, I was really thinking about returning the phone. I needed to be able to send work email responses. The emails would show up in my iCloud email address. I just couldn't respond from the address that the emails were sent to. Next, I'm not a fan that Google's behind Android. Google monetizes data, and that is a fact. I'm not saying my data will get out, but I know they want to collect as much data as possible. Multiple articles have been published on the number of times they ping your location over iPhones. I understand some of my information is going to get out there. I just want to give Google as little as possible. The next thing is I miss Apple Messages. It is so much better than SMS. So many people I know use it. It is nice to be able to respond to messages across all of my devices. I also miss Drop-In. It is one of the best and fastest ways to transfer information between Apple devices. Whether it be someone else's Apple device or between my own, it works great. Overall, I do miss some of the native Apple features that work across all of my Apple devices when I'm using my iCloud account. People like to knock Apple, but there's not a more cohesive ecosystem that'll work across computers, tablets, watches, and iPhones. Those are my initial thoughts. I understand why people prefer Android. I'm impressed by the Galaxy S10 and some of the Android offerings. I know I've only scratched the surface. I'll check back in after using it for a week. Then I should know more about the device and what Android can do. I am sure I'll find other workarounds as I use it more. I just want to keep an open mind and keep exploring, see what I find out. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't, consider subscribing and hit that bell to be notified of the next video. If you'd like to help support the channel, check out the Amazon links below. If you use them, Amazon will kick us back a little. Also, the international links will go to your country's Amazon homepage. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.